Well, hello there guys, Agrippa Maxenius here, coming at you with something really cool, and that is a downloadable campaign of Wars of the Roses for Pike and Shot campaigns. So of course, the forces of York versus the forces of Lancaster. Now, I think I'm probably going to be siding with the forces of York. We'll have to see if we can beat Henry VI and claim victory, but of course, only time will tell. I don't know if I'm going to play the entire campaign here, guys. It's quite a large campaign, but I definitely want to bring you guys a battle in the perspective of the Wars of the Roses. And of course, I am going to be playing as the forces of York. And here we go, guys. Welcome to the campaign, my lord. Your objective is to capture the provinces currently held by the feeble-minded king and his supporters and defeat their armies until they have had enough and accept your right to be Lord Protector. Yes, of course, Charles. So, it sounds wonderful. Now, we're going to go ahead and get started, guys. And one thing I want to do is probably try and fix Oxford here, get as many men in Oxford as I can. And we can stop the information tab. Let's go ahead and grab our Yorkist army. I nearly grabbed the Lancastrian force. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move our Yorkist army over here. I don't like that we're stuck in this province, so I'm going to actually move this army back. And I'm going to combine these two armies to make one large force. Now over here we actually have a pretty new army, but I would like to add to it. A pretty large one. So let me see here if there's anything we can do. I don't think there is. And attempting an attack on Oxford would certainly be a little tough. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to attack Oxford. It looks like the Lancastrian army retreated from the Central Midlands. So they're going to go ahead and retreat there, and what we can do is we can go ahead and join up forces at Oxford. I don't want to do that. I want to either move into Bristol, try to take that area from the enemy, or stay in Oxford. So we'll go ahead and end our turn. And there we go. It looks like the enemy is going to attack us, and we will certainly accept this open battle here. We're going to go ahead and get right to the battle, guys. I hope you guys are up for this. Let's go for it. Let's get the music down. I don't want to totally turn it off. Let's see. Okay, beautiful. I was about to say that was a bit odd. So it's been joined in the West Country. The enemy are offering fair and open battle. And don't forget, guys, this is, of course, the War of the Roses. This is not something offered by the actual game itself. This is a downloadable campaign, which is really cool. So we're in deployment mode. We know the enemy front line is right there, and I'm not too familiar with the new units here in the War of the Roses. We've got coureurs, we've got militia billmen, of course, a few new units that we're not too familiar with in the base game. So we're going to be moving a lot of these guys forward to face the oncoming Lancastrian hordes. Let's move this fellow up here. Henry VI shall pay. And as you can see, we don't have a lot of cavalry, as far as I can tell. We've got maybe one cavalry unit, and that is going to complicate things. This is going to be almost entirely a infantry battle. Put this guy up here as well. And I think that's a decent setup. We don't want them right next to each other because that's actually going to make movement a lot harder. So I think we can accept that and essentially begin the fight. Okay, guys, here we go. The forces of Lancaster are approaching, and I believe we are going to be the ones defending, so we don't have to do much movement. Now, there's a nice hill off to our left, and if we had some artillery, I would certainly use it, but we don't currently. So right now, we're waiting for the enemy to make a move, and hopefully they do it soon. I'm going to try and get as many guys up on this hill as I can, and I guess we might as well go ahead and move some of our forces forward. But I don't want to show the enemy that we're attacking. And actually, we do have a light gun unit back here. I'm not sure if it can actually target the enemy. They're going to have to move forward a bit. They've got some really good cover. That's another reason I would not dream of attacking in this situation. So they better make a move, because I'm not going to. Back to you, traitors. Using their cannons, so they might try to hit as many of our men as possible and force us into an attack. Is that possible? It kind of looks like that's what they're doing. They're not moving their forces at all. And that leads me to believe they want us to take the bait. So what I'm going to try to do, I really don't want to attack this position. I think I'm going to stay back. I'm going to try and take this cavalry unit and basically move towards the enemy cannons and see if I can take them out. But at this point, I'm wondering if maybe moving forward is a good idea. But that could be just exactly what they want us to do. I'm not going to take the bait right yet. Let's see if they'll eventually start moving. I can't imagine they're just going to stay there the entire time and fire those cannons. Or this might end up being an actual draw, which I don't even know if it's possible within a game. So we're going to go ahead, keep moving. At this point, I will start moving forward. What can I say? I eventually take the bait every time, right? So we're going to move forward and at least get into the fields here, try to get some cover behind these trees. I don't think it's going to offer much, but it's something. And while the enemy has artillery, we might as well move forward and bring the battle to them if that's what's necessary. Remember, we do outnumber them in this battle, so we technically have more men than the Lancastrians do. We have a slight advantage, so I guess maybe they're trying to see if we press that advantage, and I think we're going to go ahead and press the advantage. Of course, I probably want them to move forward a bit because all of this cover they have here, all of these bushes and hedgerows, etc., that's going to provide a little bit of a defensive bonus, and we don't want that at all. Let's end the turn. Once again, keeps firing those cannons. Alright, now they're moving forward. Interesting. So now the forces of Lancaster have moved forward. It could just be because I moved my cavalry forward, but I think they're actually going to try and join us in open battle, and I welcome it, of course. Might be able to get rid of those light guns, but that would be at the expense of sacrificing our cavalry units. Got to be careful because over there on their left flank, they could actually try and flank us. Crossbows. Alright guys, it is our turn, and I think I can charge. Yes. So we may be sacrificing this cavalry unit, I hope we're not, to save, or to destroy their artillery. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep moving forward here with the rest of my men. We're trying to get right here. I don't want to move much farther than that. And essentially just await the enemy attack. So we will be in the field here. If they want to push the advantage, go for it. But our men are ready with their bills and pikes. That's actually a lord's retinue. Oh, my goodness. Got some fancy lads here. Alright, we're going to open fire, guys, with our mercenary handgunners. Now, remember, the actual muskets in the War of the Roses were not nearly as good as the wars you would see in the 30 Years' War, which is what this game is based off of. So we need to keep that in mind. We don't nearly have the kind of, what can I say, artillery equipment, or just basic equipment in terms of missile units that we would like to. So let's go ahead and end the turn here, see what the Lancastrians do. I'm sure they're going to try to push forward here. And of course they're going to target my cavalry heavily. Totally makes sense. But I feel like we had to make that sacrifice. And actually that cannon shot totally missed. So here we go, Lancaster has a chance to move forward. They're going to charge our cavalry and impact, and actually we did fall back. We actually wounded most of their men. 25 of their men are wounded or killed, while we managed to get away. So we did win that. And there we go. Some return fire from the archers as well as the crossbowmen here. Few guys have handguns, but it's a novelty in this era, of course. Alright, those Welsh longswordmen are going to be a serious problem, as you guys could imagine. And they can really do a lot of damage to our units before we can even see them. So we're almost forced to make contact here with the enemy forces, just to avoid their missile units from doing too much damage. So it is our turn now, with the turn of York, and I am going to move forward here. As you can see, no actual chance to shoot them or anything like that. It's just not that kind of fight at the moment. The enemy, of course, have quite a few longbowmen that can give them a lot of help. We've got a few longbowmen here. We're about to use their shots. and actually getting some pretty good damage on their longbowmen, but we want to get into contact with them very soon. We want to try and break them. So we can actually hit their retinue longbowmen. I'm going for it, guys, with this cavalry. 25 actually disrupted the unit. That is good, and I like how our cavalry unit pulled away from the enemy as quickly as they could. I think that's actually a winning strategy. We're still getting hit by other longbowmen. We're going to go ahead. These longbowmen are kind of being used the way we'd use a musket unit in the actual game. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to open fire on that retinue, and we're continuing forward with the billmen, of course. So I'm actually going to turn towards the enemy with the handgunners, and right there up close and personal. But we do still want to hit them, and I'm trying to hit their cavalry, but I don't think we're going to be able to get to it. So instead, I'm going to keep moving forward, getting to the front line, of course. Trying to see what's the best area to actually get a shot off. I think it's going to be here. And we'll open fire on their retinue longbowmen there, throwing a few arrows downhill. I hope this is enough, guys, to secure a victory, because right now it's looking very hard to say, well, hard for us to win, but really it's hard to say who can win. Right now they have a few enemies over here and here where they could potentially flank us, and that's why the battle here in the center has got to end very, very quickly. So let's end the turn. Turn it over to the Lancastrians. Alright, some return fire there. And as you can see, we're exchanging missiles at this point, but they are going to charge our archer unit, and probably a very good idea there. The militia longbowmen retreated. And here we go. They're going to hit these militia longbowmen. They did not retreat, although probably should have. And now we really need to get our infantry in there, our actual billmen, our pikemen, etc., to try and engage their pikemen units right now, because they are trying to push forward. And look at that, some Kern warriors. They've got some Irish support, and it looks like some pretty vicious guys. Charge! Alright, guys, it's time for York. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to charge that longbowman unit again, you bet. Try and get them to retreat. And there we go. We did break a longbowman unit. So the first break, I'd like to say first blood, is for us, for the forces of York. And of course, we're going to keep chasing them there. But I think the important thing now is to get these billmen as close to the battle as possible. And one thing we want to do is possibly go ahead and charge this men-at-arms unit. I'm going for it. Damn, our guys actually took some serious casualties here. I'm going to charge the militia longbowman unit, guys, with our billmen here, hoping that they can do some serious damage there to the enemy. And it is an indecisive fight, but if we keep this up, I'm pretty sure we can make the enemy retreat. Move the billmen up, and the pikemen as well. It's funny because we could actually charge here, but I don't think it's a good idea. However, what I will do is I will open fire with the bow. 35! That was devastating. And now, with the billmen, guys, we're going to go ahead and charge. And that was pretty significant. 54 casualties on the enemy side. They're not going to forget that quite quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and also hit the longbowmen over here. But first, I will throw down some suppressive fire. And let's get them with the billmen. These billmen are awesome, I must say. I didn't expect them to be this strong. We disrupted the enemy unit. And with this unit, we're going to have to watch that right flank. So I am going to go ahead and charge. Once again, we have a higher chance of winning. And once again, we are engaged in combat and hopefully stopping that right flank of the enemy army from affecting us. That would be very helpful. I'm also going to try and get a shot here with the light cannons, but I don't think we're in range of anything. And there's also just so much going on. It's not like our light cannons are just going to shoot automatically and potentially cause a major disruption. So one thing I could do is turn towards the enemy here with the handgunners, or I could just turn towards these guys, open fire, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying not to be too concerned about the cavalry behind me, but obviously easier said than done. Well, guys, I hope you're enjoying this War of the Roses Let's Play. Obviously, I will do my best to complete this battle. If you guys think we should do the entire campaign, let me know in the comments down below, and I will consider it. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care, and glory to the House of York.